The world woke up that day expecting nothing unusual. It was just another ordinary morning. People stepped out of their homes, heading to work, meeting friends, shopping, running errands, and living their everyday lives. No one imagined that a simple public place would soon become the center of one of the most heartwarming and viral moments of the year. Blake Shelton, one of the biggest names in country music, was not scheduled for any public event. There was no concert, no press conference, no official appearance. Yet quietly and without any warning, he stepped into a public space where ordinary people were gathered, unaware that they were about to experience something unforgettable. Dressed casually, Blake blended in with the crowd. He wore comfortable clothes, a cap, and sunglasses, looking more like a regular passerby than a global music icon. There was no heavy security detail surrounding him, no flashing cameras, no stage lights, no spotlight. At first, no one noticed. A few people walked past him without a second glance. Others glanced briefly, unsure of what they were seeing. Then a young fan stopped, stared, and whispered, "Is that really Blake Shelton?" That quiet question spread quickly. Suddenly, heads turned, eyes widened, hands froze mid-motion. Within seconds, disbelief transformed into shock, and shock turned into excitement. Phones appeared instantly. Someone gasped, someone else covered their mouth. A few fans stood frozen, unable to move, trying to process what was happening. Blake Shelton, standing right there in front of them, like a normal person. Blake noticed the reaction and smiled warmly. He removed his sunglasses, making eye contact with the people around him, and gently waved. That simple wave unleashed a wave of emotion. People rushed closer, careful yet excited, forming a loose circle around him. Instead of stepping back or rushing away, Blake stepped forward. He greeted everyone with kindness, patience, and genuine warmth. He began shaking hands, hugging fans, signing autographs, and taking photos. But more importantly, he listened. Each fan had something to say. One woman shared how his music helped her survive the darkest period of her life. A man explained how Blake's songs kept him company during lonely nights on long drives. A young fan said they learned to play guitar just to perform Blake's songs. Blake responded to each story with sincerity. He did not rush. He did not treat the moment like an obligation. He treated it like a gift. One teenage fan stood trembling, tears forming in their eyes. They explained how Blake's music helped them fight depression and self-doubt. Blake gently placed his hand on their shoulder and told them they were stronger than they believed. His voice was calm, comforting, and deeply sincere. That moment alone touched thousands who later watched it online. The entire scene felt real, raw, and deeply human. Within minutes, videos of the encounter flooded social media. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and X began filling with clips of Blake smiling, hugging fans, laughing, and listening. The internet exploded. Comments poured in by the thousands. People wrote about how refreshing it was to see a celebrity behave with humility and kindness. Others said it restored their faith in public figures. Many shared personal stories about how Blake's music had changed their lives. Some fans admitted they cried watching the clips. Entertainment media quickly picked up the story. Headlines appeared everywhere, praising Blake Shelton for his humility, authenticity, and heart. But what made this moment extraordinary wasn't just that a famous singer met fans. It was how he met them. There was no barrier, no rushed movement, no forced smiles, no rehearsed behavior. Everything felt natural. One elderly fan slowly approached Blake, holding an old vinyl record. With shaking hands, they asked if he would sign it. Blake carefully took the record, studied it for a moment, smiled, and said how honored he felt. He signed it with care and thanked the fan for years of support. That fan later said it was the greatest moment of their life. Parents lifted their children so they could see him better. Blake crouched down to their level, spoke gently, and posed for photos. His presence made children laugh, adults cry, and entire families feel connected. For hours, social media kept replaying the moment. But behind this spontaneous appearance lay a deeper meaning. Blake Shelton has always spoken about staying grounded, no matter how successful he becomes. Raised in a small town, he grew up valuing simplicity, honesty, and kindness. Fame never changed those roots. That day proved it. Instead of choosing luxury, isolation, and distance, Blake chose connection. He chose humanity. He chose people. In a world filled with staged content, artificial moments, and carefully scripted public appearances, this raw encounter felt rare and powerful. Fans described it as real. That single word echoed across thousands of comments. Real. As the day continued, new clips surfaced. Some showed Blake laughing uncontrollably at a fan's joke. Others captured quiet moments of him listening attentively. Some showed him comforting fans who were overwhelmed with emotion. Each clip added a new layer to the story, and each moment reminded people that kindness still exists. By evening, Blake Shelton's name was trending worldwide. Millions of people had seen at least one clip. News channels discussed the incident. Bloggers analyzed it. Psychologists commented on the emotional impact of celebrity kindness. But Blake himself said nothing publicly that day. He let the moment speak for itself. Behind the scenes, people who witnessed the encounter in person described the atmosphere as magical. They said it felt like time slowed down, that everyone forgot their worries for a brief moment. A stranger hugged a stranger, smiles replaced stress, laughter replaced anxiety, all because of one unexpected public appearance. And the story was far from over. The moment did not end when Blake finally stepped away from the crowd. In fact, that was when its true power began to unfold. As night fell, the videos kept spreading. Every hour, millions more people discovered the clips. Comments poured in from every corner of the world. Fans from different countries, cultures, and backgrounds all shared one emotion: gratitude. People were not just watching a celebrity, they were witnessing kindness. Some viewers said the moment reminded them of the good still present in humanity. Others said it gave them hope during difficult times. Many admitted that watching Blake's simple gestures made them emotional, even bringing tears to their eyes. In a world full of negativity, conflict, and constant pressure, this brief moment felt like a breath of fresh air. Messages flooded Blake's social media accounts. Fans thanked him for being real. Parents wrote that their children were inspired by his behavior. Teachers shared the videos with students as examples of humility and respect. Mental health advocates praised the emotional impact of his compassion. One message stood out. A young woman wrote that she had been struggling deeply and had lost hope. That morning, she felt completely alone. By chance, she watched Blake's fan encounter video. She said his warmth and kindness reminded her that goodness still existed. That single moment helped her choose to keep going. Thousands of people liked and shared her comment. It became one of the most emotional reactions to the incident. News channels continued discussing the story. Experts spoke about the psychological effect of positive public behavior. They explained how witnessing genuine kindness releases emotional comfort, reduces anxiety, and restores faith in humanity. In simple words, Blake's actions made people feel better, and that is a rare gift. Fellow musicians and celebrities also reacted. Many praised Blake publicly, calling him an inspiration. Some shared their own stories of seeing Blake quietly help others behind the scenes, away from cameras and headlines. They said this behavior was nothing new for him. He had always been this way. But this time, the world finally saw it. As the days passed, fans began recreating the moment in their own lives. Videos appeared online showing people performing small acts of kindness, helping strangers, comforting friends, donating to charities, and spreading positivity, inspired by Blake's simple gesture. A chain reaction of goodness had begun.
all from one unplanned moment. Blake eventually spoke about the experience during an interview. He said he never expected such a massive response. He explained that he simply wanted to spend time among people without any barriers. He said meeting fans reminded him why he started making music in the first place. He spoke about growing up in a small town where everyone knew each other, where kindness was natural, and where helping people was part of daily life. He said fame never changed those values. He added that music connects hearts, but kindness connects souls. That statement alone was shared millions of times. The story soon became more than just trending news. It turned into a lesson about humility, a lesson about gratitude, a lesson about staying human in a world that often pushes people to become distant. Fans who had followed Blake for years said they loved him even more. New fans discovered his music after watching the clips. His songs climbed back into trending playlists. Concert ticket searches increased. Streaming numbers rose. But more important than numbers was the emotional connection. People felt closer to him. They trusted him. They respected him. And they believed in him. For those who were there that day, the memory remained unforgettable. One fan said they still replayed the moment in their mind, unable to believe it really happened. Another said the hug Blake gave them felt like a blessing. A child said meeting Blake made them want to become a singer one day. Each memory carried warmth. Each memory carried meaning. Time moved on, but the moment did not fade. Weeks later, people were still sharing the clips. New reactions continued appearing. Reaction videos gained millions of views. Podcasts discussed it. Bloggers wrote about it. Comment sections remained filled with emotional messages. In a fast-moving world where trends disappear in hours, this story stayed alive because it was real, because it was human, because it touched hearts. In the end, Blake Shelton did not just break the internet, he healed it, even if only for a moment. He reminded people that fame means nothing without kindness, that success means nothing without humility, that music means nothing without heart, and that sometimes the smallest gestures leave the greatest impact. A smile, a handshake, a hug, a few kind words. These simple acts became unforgettable. And long after the cameras stopped recording, long after the headlines faded, the feeling remained. Hope, connection, humanity. That day, Blake Shelton did not just surprise fans, he reminded the world what it means to be truly human.